Welcome. Hey everyone. I hope you guys are doing okay with the whole lockdown. I know some countries have been already loosening up the restrictions, and maybe you're going out, maybe you get to see some of your family members, some of your friends. If so, I'm really happy for that. I hope you're taking care of yourself, of your immunity system, of staying positive, investing in yourself. Um, so today I actually wanted to do a Facebook Live to talk about narcissists and how to help women spot this so that they don't become victims of that sort of a manipulation. And when I was running through my head of what I wanted to share, there was actually something that I realized I need to talk about first. And this is the lack of solidarity between the women. It's really lack of sisterhood and how easily a woman can choose a man over another woman. And it's something that's I've been actually looking at and exploring in the last few years based on my own experiences being both the giver and the receiving of the receiver of that, and the recent situations that happen in my life and all the conversations that I've had, especially in the environments of open relationships, that really comes up strong. And truth is, it's something I actually really wanted to talk about for a long time, and I just feel like right now is the time. Like, just for me, this is when it wants to come out. So yeah, that's what I want to address. I want to talk about why is it that us women, we don't value the sisterhood as much. Why is it that the brotherhood between the men can be so strong but the sisterhood is not? Why is it that we choose a man over a woman? Why is it that we can be such horrible manipulative bitches and stab another woman in the back? I want to explore this because there's a reason why we do it, and there's a loss of power in this behavior. We don't realize actually we think we're getting power, we're getting more things for ourselves, but actually we're losing this. So I really want to explore this dynamic in this Facebook Live, and there will be another one in a few days where I will talk specifically about dating a narcissist, how to spot that sort of behavior and how to strengthen yourself so you don't become a victim of that sort of dynamic. So talking about women, I think we need to start by just addressing the simple fact that we are living in a patriarchal society. And of course, there are countries where women have almost no rights. And then we have countries in the West where it looks like women have all the rights, like we're all equal, it's all good. But that's not necessarily how I look at what patriarchal society means to me. For me, definition of a patriarchal society is a society that doesn't value the power of the feminine. So truth is, we don't understand the feminine power. We are afraid of the feminine power. We try to control it so that we can stop it. We don't want to allow the feminine power. And when I say feminine power, I don't mean just women. I mean the feminine power in a woman and in a man, and the feminine power in nature. So this is really an easy way to look at it, is look how we look at nature and the power of nature. Right? Like, we are terrified of that, because if a volcano blows up, it can destroy the whole town, the whole city. It can stop flights, which happened a few years ago in Iceland. It can have a huge impact on us. It can kill people. It can destroy what we've built. So look at what we're trying to do. We're trying to predict things. We're trying to know, like, how can we predict that there will be a volcano eruption? How can we predict the weather? And why do we want to predict it all? So we can control it, so we can stop it. Even if we look at the climate change, all we want to do is stop it. We want to stop what's happening in nature because we're so uncomfortable with this incredible power that she has. Because this power is bigger than us. We know this power could destroy us. So we try to control it. Another way to realize that we really don't make space for the power of the feminine is how uncomfortable we feel with the women in the position of power. So look at yourself. How do you feel about a woman who is a CEO, who is a president and prime minister? Like, things that we usually say are, wow, she's such a bitch, she's so cold. We judge her because we're used to that a woman should be gentle and caring and soft and loving. And only that. Like, if a woman gets angry, if she starts yelling, if she starts shouting, if she starts saying no, she's a bitch. She's all over the place. She's too loud, right? And look, how do you feel taking orders from a man versus a woman? So that gives us a really big understanding of the fact that in our society, the feminine is treated differently, and so women are treated differently. And that's a very important aspect for this whole conversation. We have to understand that in today's society, no matter the country, it is easier to be a man. It's more convenient to be a man. You're more powerful if you're a man. It's more important to be a man. Now, this is the societal construct, because in reality, that's not true. Like this, even the idea that men are more important than women, it's ridiculous. Think about it. Who gives birth? Like, women are essential to allow our species to survive. Yet in our society, it's more important to be a man. And this is something that goes into intimate relationships as well. And I'll speak about it more in a second. But in a relationship, man is more important. Even how we approach relationships, it's from a man's, the masculine perspective. We look at things like, don't get too attached, don't get lost in a relationship, because losing yourself in something, that's the feminine principle. It's like, it's okay to lose yourself in art, but don't lose yourself in a relationship. You should approach a relationship from a man's perspective, right? And if a woman is very womanly, very feminine, very with the emotions, with the flow, she's all over the place, she's unstable, she's needy. So the bottom line is that because we believe that it's more important to be a man, and we believe that it's more important to be a man in a relationship, that it's still the man's role in a relationship is still more important, is predominant, women will betray another woman to get a man. I want to share with you a story that happened to me in the university. So that's like, whoa, that's like more than 10 years ago. So I had a best friend, my girlfriend, and there was this guy I was sort of connecting with. We never actually became a couple, but we were kind of connecting over a couple of years. Sorry, a couple of months. And then me and this guy, we kind of stopped. And I think we weren't really hanging out that much anymore. And also with this girl, like we were not spending as much time together. And so what happened after a while is that that girlfriend of mine started dating that guy. Now, I didn't have any issue with this, but here's what happened. At that time, I became friends with this group of guys, like about 10 guys, and they had a very strong brotherhood. Like they were so strong together. And they told me that in their opinion, what that girl did was absolutely inappropriate, wrong, and they would never do that to their friend. They believed that because she was my friend, that she just shouldn't go for any man that I ever dated or that I was engaged with. Now, again, in that specific case, I was okay with them being together, but I was really amazed by how strong these men were in terms, like how much solidarity there was between them. For them, if one of the guys from the group was involved with a woman, she was out. There was no way that anyone would be connecting with her, because the brotherhood came first. Now, what about women? Okay, what about us? Let's be honest. How many times did you go after a guy that one of your girlfriends dated? How many times did you try to steal a guy from a woman? We are very sneaky and manipulative. Now, this is also important. Yes, women are sneaky and manipulative, because that's what we've learned, that this is the only way how we can get what we want and what we need. Again, look back in the past. Women couldn't just ask for what she wanted. She wasn't given what she wanted or what she needed. We didn't have a say. And still, in many parts of the world, we don't. So what did we learn to do? Is to manipulate the situation so that we get what we want without anyone even realizing that we did. Look at what's still being really taught and preached in terms of relationships for men and women. Is that, like, to the world, the man is the king, but in the household, a woman is a queen. She is the one who rules everything, but publicly, it's like no one really knows anything. It's even often a man is not aware that it's a woman who makes the decisions. So we're even encouraged to be sneaky and manipulative, that that's how a woman gets what she wants, right? If we ask directly, I want this, stop doing this. Ooh, you're not feminine, right? Let's be more like feminine. Let's be more gentle and soft, right? So we learn that if we want something, we have to be manipulative. It's like in a way that no one will even notice that we got it. You know, everything is behind, like in the back door. It's not in the open. And that's what we end up doing to each other, right? You won't have a woman come up to her girlfriend and say, listen, I want to be honest with you. I'm really attracted to your ex-boyfriend. Is it okay? No, we first wait, we play our games to see if he likes us, and then, well, it's too late, we like each other, what can we do about it? Right? Look how often we do, how often women are not honest with what they really want, because we've been conditioned that if we are honest about what we want, we're not going to get it. So we need to hide it, and we often hide it from ourselves. We don't even admit to ourselves what we want, and then we engage in these manipulative games to get that. So what happens is that a woman becomes your enemy. Why? Because there are limited resources, and those limited resources being good, legitimate men, a man who will provide for you, a man who will take care of you, who will love you. You know, all the women complain, where are the good men, right? So it's a limited resource, and when there are limited resources, we start fighting over those resources. And when our mind, in a woman's mind, I need a man, I need a good man, there's not enough men, I need to compete with other women because it's about my survival. I am more important because I need to survive and I need a man to survive. I'll speak about this later, a bit more in depth. For me, I'll be honest with you, I totally did it myself, and probably I still do, because, you know, it's really a big thing to become more conscious and aware of these behaviors. I became aware of it when I first started exploring open relationships. So I'll be super honest with you. The very first situations I got myself in, I met a guy who was with a woman, and they were experimenting with being open. And the way I approached it was that, like, okay, I like this guy. He is open, so I can flirt with him. But the intention was that I actually wanted to steal the guy. I wanted to prove to the woman that he chooses me, that I'm better. Because I was competing with women. Because in my mind, I needed to prove to myself and everyone else that I am the better woman. That he chooses me over you. It's a competition that we are creating and we're engaging in. You know. So for me, yeah, I remember, like, I wouldn't be honest with the woman. Like, when she faced me, she's like, hey, you know, it's like, are you interested in my man? I'm like, no, I just like him as a friend, even though deep inside I knew that that wasn't true, you know. And when a man told me, for example, that like I have the agreement with my girlfriend, she doesn't want to know, and I just went for it because it was convenient. Truth is, it's not really the case. Now that I've been on the other end of this situation, it's not a woman doesn't want to know. It's too painful for her to know. That's why she doesn't want to know. And I didn't honor her feelings because I was too focused that, oh, I get to connect with this sexy guy. And for me, all of this really changed with this one lover that I got and the situation that happened with him. So I was seeing this guy. I really liked him. And basically I told him that, yes, I prefer knowing if you're engaging with someone else, like I want the openness. I don't have the need for you to be exclusive with me. I kind of set it up. And then there was this one, there was already something shady about him. And one night we were meant to meet, like we had plans for the evening, and then he just kind of never replied, never showed up. I wasn't really sure what happened. And then the next day we were all in a yoga class, and he asked me if I could stay after the class. I'm like, yeah. I stayed, and then I see there's another woman sitting next to him. So he calls me in and says, you know, if I could sit, and he wanted to share something with us, me and this other woman. And what he shared was that last night he was with this other woman. I was like, what the heck? Like, we made plans. He never canceled on me. He never told me in the past that there was anyone else he was seeing, and he just goes and connects with another woman, and now puts us in this very uncomfortable situation where there are three of us just dropping this bomb on me and the other girl. And then he goes to her and he says to her, I've been seeing Magda for a while. I really care about her. So it turns out that he only told this other woman about me now after he slept with her, not before. So it was like, okay, the way the whole thing is managed is really off. It's not how I want to do things. And by then, I've had enough experience to know how I do not want to do open relationships, like what's the harmonious and what's the non-harmonious way. So I asked him if he could go and let me and her just talk, just the two of us connect. And so we did. And both of us felt very uncomfortable because we're like, what the heck is it? But we got talking and we managed to be really honest with each other. And what we realized was that this guy was manipulating and playing us both. And this is, by the way, this was my first really a clear experience of dating a narcissist. And that's why I want to do the other video where I talk about it in more depth, because this guy, he like the strategies that he engaged was like, wow, if you don't know what they do, you're not aware, it's so easy to become a victim. But for today's video, what I wanted to share was that it was because me and her became honest and vulnerable with each other. We connected as sisters. We learned that. We realized that he would be telling her things and then telling me the exact same things. Like he was lying to both of us. Because we connected, we realized what he was doing, that he was a proper asshole in this situation. And both of us stopped seeing him. We chose to believe the other woman over believing him. And let me just tell you, it was a good decision. Because later this guy got involved with other women. And those women got really hurt and burned and played. And again, when later we pulled that other woman in and she connected with us, she was like, oh my God, he was doing all of this. So for me, that experience was a big lesson that a woman comes first. If you're doing open relationships, but in general, a woman comes first. Now, what I mean by this, if there is a couple, if there is a man, right? And maybe they're open, maybe they're not, I don't know. But let's say I would like to know if they're open. And if they are, I would like to maybe just hang out with him because I like him, even if I don't exactly know where I want it to go. The first person I will talk to is a woman. Now, if I know her, that's a no-brainer. She is the first person I go to, not him, her. But even if I don't, I'm going to engage in a conversation with her. I'm going to include her. Why? Because I've been on the other side. I know what it's like when a woman tries to steal your man, whether you're open or not. And even if you're open and it's okay, I also have been on the receiving end, what it's like when your man wants to be connecting with someone else. It's fucking difficult. It's so painful. So I want to exercise empathy and compassion towards that woman because I know what it's like to be her. That's why she comes first. And I had this happen to me very recently. I'm in a closed relationship, but at the same time tantric. So we're open, we're sensual, we like cuddles and touching people, you know, and we are closed. And there was a woman whom I've known for a couple of years now. Like, we're not really close friends, but we're friends. And she started to hit on my man. And she never reached out to me. She never spoke to me. She never said, hey, Magda, I wanted to share that I don't know what to do about it, but I actually like your partner. You know, it's like, are you guys open? What's your situation? How do you feel about it? She didn't do any of that. Instead, she was actually manipulating both me and my partner. And when I actually reached out to her and confronted her saying that, you know what? You never told me that you like my partner. You're doing things behind my back. What did she do? She said, no, I don't have any feelings. There was never anything there. And later on, it all came out that she did. And that she did try to steal him. And that she did try to seduce him. But she was lying first to herself because it was uncomfortable. And she was lying to me. And again, that's a situation of a woman choosing a man because she wanted my man. That was more important for her than my feelings or our friendship. So like I said, for me, yes, I do expect a woman to come to me because that's what I would do now. But that's something it took me quite a few years to realize. And again, even today, I don't always show up the way I would like to show up. I actually realized some time ago, after that situation happened to me, I realized that where I live on my island, there's this guy, and I just absolutely love him as a friend. Like, I don't want to be intimate with him. I don't want any sexual interaction, but he's a very deep friend of mine, and he's been there for me when I really needed support, and I just so deeply love him. Really, really, really appreciate this man in my life. And recently he got into a relationship, and truth is, because I'm very close to him, but I don't really know her, in some situations when she was there, I allowed myself to be very intimate with him. I didn't actually fully consider her, and I should have. In that situation, I should have first come up to her and say, listen, I just want you to know, like, I know this man very well. He's my good friend. I'm really happy that you guys are together. I'd love to get to know you better because now you're part of his life. I also just want you to know that we're friends. You know, if my friendship with your man at any point makes you feel uncomfortable, like, I'm open to talk about it. And truth is, I didn't do that. And in my integrity, it would be actually that. And I didn't. So I'm still learning. We're all learning because it's not so easy. But I think what we really need to realize is that we are conditioned as women to believe that that it's more important for me to have a man in my life than to have a woman. And look at even what are the overall excuses for men to be assholes. Like, well, men just cheat. Well, men need variety, right? But if a woman acts, she's like, oh, she's a slut. It's like, as a society, we have created those excuses for men to be just mean and assholes and dicks to us. But as a society, both men and women just decided to agree on it. Why? Well, because we need a man in life. If I was to point to a man, hey, you're a total asshole, and that's bullshit what you're doing, and I'm not going to allow this, then what? I may end up single. So I would rather excuse his behavior so we can stay together. And look what happens even when you have like all these stories of men cheating. Like how often is it that, let's say, a wife whose husband cheated on her, right? She's not really angry with the husband. She's angry at the other woman. Look, what is the societal perception of a woman who dates a married guy versus a man who dates a married woman? A woman, she's the homebreaker, right? She is, the other woman. You say the other woman. You don't say the other man, right? It's the woman who breaks the family, not a man. She seduced him. She stole him. Now, A, because probably that's the case. Like I said, that's our energy. That's what we do. But B, because we believe that the woman is the bad one, right? It's the woman who uses her sexuality to steal things and take things at the expense of other people. We don't really say the same to men as much. And I think that's important to keep in mind. Like, notice yourself and the excuses that you have given to the man. Look, we've all dated assholes. I've dated a couple of those, right? How easy are we to excuse their behavior? Oh, because, like, you know, he never met the right woman, or because the other woman, she was needy and she was a crazy psycho bitch. That's why he was like that. Or because he didn't have a good relationship with his mom. That's why. There's all of these external reasons why he is such a bad partner. But would you find the same excuses for a woman? No. So just observe yourself. What are the excuses that you give to men for acting like children and like dickheads? Just literally straightforward, like dickheads. And are you able to give the same excuses to a woman? So I want to talk a bit more about this idea. Why is it that we believe we need a man? If we look at, back into the history, that was the reality. A woman didn't have any rights. She didn't have property. She couldn't do anything, right? Only men could. So you actually really indeed needed a husband to survive. And that's been the case for like centuries. And it's not really the case today. If you look at it objectively, it's not the case. But the conditioning is very strong. It's really hard for us to switch that mindset and still look at how the society perceives single women, single mothers. failed marriage, right? We don't looking like, yay, she can do it on her own, right? No, no, no. Oh, failed. She failed. Or a single woman at older age. Ooh, she failed. Is it like the only accomplishment we need to have in our life is to find a husband and have and get married, right? So if you don't, it's like, oof, right? It didn't work out for you, right? Well, what if it did work out because I'm single? No, no, no. It didn't work out, right? So we still have this idea. We still deeply, after centuries, we're still so deeply conditioned that we need a man to survive. Now, look, I do have to say that many countries still in the world and many people still kind of treat men and women this way. I remember when I was in India and it was a group of women and men, and there's a like we were traveling together. So my friends, and we're talking to some local men. They wouldn't talk to us, they only spoke to men. Now, someone told me that's a sign of respect. Whether it's a sign of respect or disrespect, it's secondary. The point is that still, as a woman, I cannot get a lot of things done. Even about last year ago or so, I got into difficulty with another man, and I was really afraid, like, that he would screw me over, right? Now, why? Because he think he can, because I'm a woman. But my partner, who has a very strong alpha male energy, he stood up by me. The other guy backed off immediately. Even when I get a lot of emails with the work that I do from men who are absolutely harassing me and crossing the line. And if it's me replying and I say, please stop sending me messages like this, I do not appreciate them, you're crossing my boundaries. No, I still keep getting all the messages of, naked, make naked man dicks and God knows what kind of declaration. But one time I replied pretending to be a man. I never got a single message from that specific guy again. Because what? With a woman, I can do what I want, but with a man, no. So even today, there are so many things that are way easier if it's a man doing them than a woman. Because men are still like taken more seriously, right? We're not gonna try to challenge a man, but yeah, we can challenge a woman. So in some ways, actually, it is still true that you need a man to get some things done, right? But here's the thing. So because we have been put in a situation and in a mindset that I need a man to survive, so that became the most important thing for me. And I would sacrifice anything else to get the man because I need to survive. That's normal. So I would, sacrifice another woman because think what was happening in the past, right? Let's say it would be like me and another girl, and there's one single eligible bachelor. We're in competition, right? This is why exactly women is considered the enemy because she can steal my man. So what happens? Sisterhood is not important. Sisterhood can steal a man, can take away my survival, right? So what am I doing? I'm disconnecting from women because I would rather be connected to men than to women. Now, what happens as a result is something we don't actually fully grasp, is that we cut ourselves from the source of our power. One of the ways for men to step more into their power as a man is by being with other men. And it's the same true for women. For us to step into our power as a woman, to embrace the feminine power, is by being surrounded by the feminine power, by being in nature and by being around women, beautiful women. Not the women who want to stab you in your back, but beautiful, empowered women. Now, we're not hanging out with each other enough because we choose the presence of a man, right? So we choose the man because we believe we need his power to survive, because in our society, a man has more power because we subdue the power of the woman, right? Now, I choose a man because I believe this will make me more powerful, because I believe I need his power to survive. What I'm doing actually, by disconnecting myself from women, I'm making myself even less powerful, which makes me need the men even more, and that creates this vicious cycle, which we need to break. Look, for example, when you get into the relationship, how easy is it for you to start ditching your girlfriend because your boyfriend is available, right? It's like, I mean, I've done it so many times. I still do this. I want to meet with my girlfriend, but I make my man a priority because he needs to confirm if he's free tonight or not. So what am I doing? I'm telling my girlfriend, hey, I will let you know later. I'm waiting for him to confirm. I'm not going to do it the other way around as often. because he comes first. Still, he comes first for me. And I'm aware of this. I'm aware of the pattern. Like I said, it's not so easy to break those, but it starts with awareness. And we do step by step. Step by step, we become more and more aware, and we get to align our actions to actually represent a different set of values. And I actually have really noticed this when I was in Kuala Lumpur last time with my girlfriend. And if you're watching, you know I'm talking about you, because we were talking about this, and she helped me realize that when I am around men, and whether that's my male friends or my partner or even my father, I kind of make myself smaller and weaker. Because remember, that's been the strategy for women to be provided for. I'm this innocent, incapable little creature. Could you please help me? Right? And then men want to help. And look, by the way, it's not that this dynamic is bad. It's there for a reason, and we still use it and have it. That's okay. What I'm talking about is that as women, we actually start taking away our power. So we come to men from this place of disempowerment because we believe that this way they will take care of us. We can do the same from the place of empowerment. That's the difference, right? Like, it's very different to ask a man for help and feeling very confident, and feeling helpless. If it doesn't help me, I don't know what to do. And that's how most women approach it. So this girlfriend of mine, she made me realize, she helped me realize, is that when I'm with other women, I just feel like I can do it. Because I was talking to her about this one challenge with my partner, and it was really very difficult for me. It still is very difficult for me. But when I was sitting with her, with another woman, I was like, I can deal with this. I'm powerful. I can do that. And it's true, it's like, if you ever are in a relationship and you argue, the best thing you can do is connect with your girlfriends, because it's like they are your source. There are people, there are activities, there are places that either give us energy or drain us from energy. And your sisterhood, that's the source of your energy. That's what you get to tap into to feel more empowered, more confident, more positive in life. So this is why it's so important that we really nurture the sisterhood. And I really hope that this whole video, thank you for watching, really, because it's like half an hour already. Thank you so much for watching this. But I really hope that you will just start asking yourself a few questions. How many times have you, and how often do you still choose a man over a woman? How often do you make a man more important than a woman? And you have to realize that the consequence of treating a man as more important than a woman is that you treat a man more important than yourself. You are allowing this patriarchal division to be stronger. So my intention, it's not to tell you that you need to choose a woman over a man, because again, that's a competition. And I really don't believe that this is the way. I don't believe that suddenly we need to become a matriarchal society. No, it's not about one being more important than the other. It's about being equally important, about honoring and valuing both men and women and the feminine and masculine power, which are different. Let's not try to prove they're the same. They're different, and it's about honoring and seeing the value in the difference. So I'm not telling you to choose a woman over a man. What I'm telling you is to stop choosing a man over a woman. Thank you so much.